Well, the Cut, Cap, and Balance Act would cut federal spending by $111 billion, put caps on future spending, and establish the framework for a balanced budget amendment. But this week, the Senate blocked the measure the House had already passed. So what options are left? Joining us now, a House Democrat who said Cut, Cap, and Balance would go, quote, nowhere. California Congressman Adam Schiff. Congressman, thank you for coming in today.
Great to be with you.
All right, your prediction of you, shared by many other people, came true. So now what?
Well, and I don't think it was any surprise. I think the chief motivation behind the plan was to give Republicans in the House something to vote for that was easy, so they could vote for something later on. That's fine, I guess, as far as it goes, but time is running out. We really need to get something done. I think the Gang of Six did a tremendous job in setting out a bipartisan outline. I don't like everything in it. If I did, it wouldn't stand any chance. But I think it set out some real enforcement mechanisms and really laid out something that both parties could begin working on. But time is running short. We have to find a way just to take this debt ceiling issue off the table so we don't rattle the markets any more than we already have. The failure to raise the ceiling is simply a catastrophe, and we can't allow that to happen.
How do you respond to those who say, where is the Democrats' plan? Where is the president's plan? Why is everything coming from the Gang of Six? At least we have one bipartisan measure, or the House, and we understand the House GOP may come up with another two-tiered plan they'll release this afternoon. Where is the Democrats' plan?
Well, I think many Democrats, like the chief Democrat, the president, have been willing to embrace something like the Gang of Six. So that represents a major step towards compromise by the Democratic Party. That hasn't been reciprocated beyond the Gang of Six, at least not in the House. I think many Democrats in the House are willing to entertain something along those lines. So Democrats have come a long way, but the Republicans in the House have come nowhere in terms of the willingness to raise revenues. And I think most responsible parties, both in and out of the government, realize that revenue has to be part of the equation. There's going to have to be that piece. And I think, revenue on the table in a way that lowers overall rates, that simplifies the tax code, that puts the country on a long-term, more stable footing, that is a winner for the United States. I think it would improve our economy. It would improve the solvency of some of our safety net programs. And I think that's the direction we really need to move. What
for you is a deal breaker or a deal maker? What couldn't you vote for?
Well, I can't support something that balances our budgetary problems on the backs of our most vulnerable, our seniors. Nothing to raise revenue that allows, these special interest tax cuts to go on at the expense of people on Social Security or Medicare. Medicare and Social Security haven't resulted in the current deficit. They do need work in terms of their long-term solvency, but we shouldn't mix the two and balance our current deficit problems on their back. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's fair. I am willing, and I think most people are, outside the Beltway, to have a shared sacrifice where things that are sacred to me have to sacrifice and things that are sacred to the other side have to sacrifice. And we've seen that in the past with Reagan and Tip O'Neill. If Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill can come to an agreement and are willing to compromise, why can't we?
You mentioned entitlement reform and say this isn't the time to get it done, but if you're talking about long-term solutions, and clearly the underpinnings of those programs are shaky at best, why not address that at the same time that we're addressing the overall economic health of this country moving forward?
Oh, no, I think that's perfectly fine to address the long-term fiscal challenges in those programs. What I don't think is fine is let's not balance our current deficit problem on the back of programs that aren't responsible for those deficits. But yes, if this can be the catalyst for us to make some difficult decisions on those long-term programs, then that's just fine. I have some question about whether we can do that in the next 10 days. But there are ways that we can sequence this where we can have some of the enforcement mechanisms like the Gang of Six provided, where we can be sure that those long-term issues will also be addressed.
All right, Congressman Schiff, we appreciate your time. We know you got a lot of work to do, and we wish you the best in finding a solution.